Hello class 12. Today I am going to start with the free trade from chapter 8. Last day we have done a class on protectionism, which was a very small part, and I hope that you had no problem with that part of it. Now today we'll start with free trade. Now what is this free trade? It occurs when there are no artificial barriers put in place by governments to restrict the flow of goods and services between trading nations. That means protectionism, we have read in the last class. This free trade and protectionism are opposite to each other, because in protectionism we have found that there are some barriers which has been put in place by governments in order to restrict the flow, right? But free trade means there are no such artificial barriers between the trading nations in order to make the trading relation in a better way, to keep it in a better place. Okay, so that is the free trade. Now both are executed by the government, as you can understand, but it depends. It's a relative concept that to which products it will be a free trade, for which products it will be a protectionism act. So everything depends upon the quality of the goods and the nature of the goods, right? Now what are the advantages? First is increased production. It enables the countries to specialize in the production of commodities in which they have a comparative advantage. So it enables 2, 3 or 4 countries who are trading with each other to specialize in the production of commodities in which they have a comparative advantage. That means with which they can earn profit for their own countries. Okay. Production efficiencies. The more efficient the use of resources, that leads to higher productivity and increasing total domestic output of goods and services. Because as efficiently one can allocate the resources, it will definitely lead to higher productivity, and it will also lead to the increased GDP and domestic output of the goods and services. Clear? Next, benefits to consumers. Consumers can now obtain a greater variety of goods and services because of the free flow of goods and services. It is a better option for the consumers to obtain a greater variety of goods and services. Next, employment. Employment will increase in exporting industries and workers will be displaced as import competing industries close down in the competitive environment. In a competitive environment, what happens? The import competing industries, they shut down, they close down. So employment will increase in exporting industries and workers will be displaced from the import competing industries to the exporting industries. Okay. Economic growth. Countries experience rising living standards, increased real incomes and higher rates of economic growth because of the free flow of goods and services. They are also getting employed and they are also rising their living standards and also increasing their real incomes. But we all know that every coin has two sides. So definitely there are many disadvantages to this free trade act. Now first one, you see, structural unemployment may occur in the short term, which can impact upon large number of workers and their families. Secondly, business employees and consumers are more vulnerable to downturns in the economies of our trading partners. So everybody actually are interconnected with each other, the business, the employees, the consumers, and if anything wrong happens to the economy, then definitely all of these partners will be vulnerable to that downturn, to that less productivity. Some efficient industries may find it difficult to compete for longer periods of time in this case, because it's a big competitive environment is created, because there are many nations interconnected with each other, and maybe one product is being made by many countries, and one may be the better option from the other will be the better option from the next one. So there is a big competition. So that is why some efficient industries may find it difficult, if especially if they are new, to compete for longer periods. Developing industries may find it difficult to become established. This is also the same, almost the same point, because I have just now said you that newly developed industries may find it difficult in such competitive environment to become established. It can lead to pollution and other environmental problems, as companies fail to include those costs in the price of goods, because they actually always in a competitive environment try to give the product in a less price, so that they can keep themselves up in this highly competitive environment. So for that, uh, they their products, the byproducts, and their mechanism, the techniques of manufacture can lead to pollution and other environmental problems, because the companies cannot execute in that much of money. They cannot execute the environmental rules, norms, and regulations, and definitely it can lead to pollution for that, right? Now we'll shortly see a case study on free trade, which you have in your syllabus, that is aquaculture. Aquaculture is the cultivation of freshwater and saltwater organisms under controlled conditions. This is the definition of aquaculture. That means it is not only the cultivation of fish, but also the cultivation of freshwater and marine water organisms under controlled conditions. That means they are not being treated as they are in their natural environment, but we are trying to control their production. It is a viable method of enhancing fish production. Viable means it's a method, it's a productive method for enhancing, for increasing the fish production. Through aquaculture, the growth has been 1000%. It was 80% of growth. Contrary to that growth, it has increased to almost 1000%, which is much, much more, as you can understand. And this has made India to the second position in aquaculture. And India has become a leading country in this business. This growth has been made possible by the free trade, because there are no artificial barriers imposed on them. The present production is 3.7 million tons. The common varieties which are imported are katla, rohu, and shrimps. These are the common varieties of India which are being imported from India to other various countries. And present production is 3.7 million tons, which is increasing day by day and which will definitely increase more in the near future. India has become a serious player in the global market for fish. So I hope this case study is clear to you. Students, please go through this topic, because free trade and protectionism both are interconnected. So that is why last day I have taught you protectionism. Today I have taught you free trade, so that you can understand and relate it in a better way. If you have any problem, you may ask me in the comment box. Thank you.